The Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Department will today host a two-day summit in the hope of improving the performance of local government. The summit is to be held in Boksburg in the east of Johannesburg and will bring together local officials, traditional leaders, academics, representatives of civil society organizations and funding institutions. For more on the story, let's cross live now to our colleague Natasha Phiri. A very good morning to you, Natasha. You've been covering this story in the morning. In fact, you spoke earlier to the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Did you get a chance to ask about this breaking story of the morning where the former president, Jacob Zuma, endorses her for the leadership of the ANC going to the 55th ANC elective conference?
Well, Desiree, unfortunately, no. But of course, we will get another opportunity to actually speak to her, later on after she actually gives her opening address here at the local government summit. I just want to ask my colleague Gabi to just actually pan so we show you what's happening. We can see that delegates have started trickling into the conference center. As we expect various guests like the various ministers, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana, Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mkhunu, the Auditor General Tsakani Magoluleke, which is a very interesting one because we'll be touching on her Auditor General's report, especially on the state of municipalities, across the country. But just reflecting and going back to the conversations that we had with the minister earlier on and the chairperson of traditional leadership, Nkosikazi Nomandla Mhlawuli. I mean, the minister said something quite interesting, Desiree. The issue of reviewing, the 21 years of governance and also the funding model of local government. Desiree, you would recall that Salga earlier on, in particular its president, Mr. Boksburg, had actually made calls for more money to be pumped into local government, because remember, that is where service delivery actually takes place. Right now you have a structure where national government actually gets more of the budget, but when just engaging the minister about this, she had said that they would look at refunding local government, and also the issue of the district development model actually comes into light in regards to this. But let me just also bring into the frame my colleague Maswele Ralebon, who's a specialist researcher at the SABC News. Maswele, thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. I mean, we had interesting conversations earlier on with the Minister of COGTA and with the chairperson of traditional leaderships. Let's just look at the status of South Africa's municipalities. It's quite worrying. Just scoping into the Auditor General reports, Tsakani Magoluleke, 41 out of 257 municipalities have received clean audits. This is quite worrying because, I mean, service delivery actually is at the face of people. What does this now mean for the basic people on the ground?
Thank you, Natasha. For me, at this point, listening to politicians telling us what's happening, this and that will be done, and at the end we see nothing being done to curb the fruitless and wasteful expenditure in municipalities is very worrying. I think the person that we must focus on, or the report that we must focus on, is the Auditor General's report of 2020-2021 MFA audit, where she paints a bleak picture and bleak future for our municipalities. You've already mentioned that 41 out of 257 municipalities, only 41 received clean audits. As we speak now, there are municipalities that cannot even get to put together a report and submit to the Auditor General for the results. As we speak now, there are municipalities that are sitting and they cannot even provide the basics of the services. You've got Ritsobotla that was currently disbanded in Northwest, where even factories like Clover had to close down because they were complaining about services that they are not receiving. You'll remember that in order for business to operate in these municipalities, they need the municipality to come on board and provide roads, provide water, provide many other things. But if there's nothing like that, it means they are compromising the livelihood of their residents in terms of job, because as we speak now, Clover left the area in Ritsobotla municipality and they are operating somewhere else. Those employees who were getting salaries are now left stranded because of the doings of their municipality leaders.
And what's also sad is that 30 municipalities are under administration. Now you have, areas where people are complaining, saying that they can't access basic water, basic services. Children can't go to school because of the roads as well. This is quite concerning, Maswele.
It's a matter of politicians not knowing what they are doing. As we speak, Natasha, we have more than 200 or 300 councillors across the country. I think even more who can read and write. But these are the people who must sit in these councils and decide over billions what they must be focused on, and
hence
and wasteful expenditure comes in to say the people who don't know what to do with money are given responsibility to control the millions.
I think the program is just about to start right now, but just on that point, about not hiring competent people or councillors who are incompetent is a problem. You have SALGA calling for the professionalization of local government. How important is this?
I think it's important because as you've realized, and so many people have been talking about this. I will give you an example in November, where at some point...
So let me just cut you in there while we just perhaps look at these visuals of the minister actually walking in, being accompanied by the Gauteng Premier David Makhura. If I'll just ask my colleague Gabi just to show you those visuals, Desiree. There you have the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, of course, being flanked by Gauteng Premier David Makhura. We've got the president there of SALGA. I can see him, Mr. Boksburg. We've also got the MEC of Kota in the province, the host province, Mr. Lebogang Maile, and of course we expect other MECs to actually also be here anytime soon. Desiree, just to talk you through the list of the various ministers that will be there. You've got the likes of Senzo Mkhunu, who will be here, the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwane, and of course the President of the country's first citizen, will be giving his address here tomorrow. Desiree, it seems as if the summit, the proceedings of the summit have officially started, as the various dignitaries and MECs have actually entered the room. So of course we do implore our SABC viewers to stay tuned to the agenda as we give you all the live coverage in regards to this conference.